Anxiety from a microdose. Yeah, you're going to have to stick around for this one. Hey there, welcome back. Dr. Dave, Microdose You. And before I get into this, I just want to take a second to thank you so much for your patience. I've been traveling a lot over the past month. My wife and I did a road trip in this little van right here all across the United States. And we were busy and we had a lot of cool things. And because of that, I was just not able to answer all the comments and questions and stuff you've been throwing at me. I really appreciate every single one of you, including you. But I've just been very bad lately, so I apologize. And before I get on to the subject today, I also want to take one more second and ask you, if you have been with me for quite some time on Microdose U, drop me a little comment and just let me know that you're still with me. Now, I don't know whether they've learned everything they can or they're just watching or listening to every show and just being quiet, but let me know if you're still there. Please. I get a lot of comments, but some of my regulars, that's my request to you. Okay, so let's get back into this. Anxiety from a microdose. So I just said I've been on the road for a month. We just got back a couple nights ago, back into Salt Lake City here. And when I'm on the road, when we drive in this van, since I'm driving a decent part of the day, I really prefer to take my microdose. If I do a microdose that day, I really prefer to take a microdose that evening because I just don't, nothing is ever 100%. I just don't want to be feeling weird or something if I took too much or if it affected me abnormally, which is not common, but sometimes it does, as I'm going to describe to you right now. So the other night, we're finished driving for the day. We went to a hot springs in Wyoming. It's beautiful. We're having a great time. And before dinner, I decided to take a little microdose. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was probably around the 100 milligram range. So very small microdose. And I've been microdosing for at least a year and a half now. I know my doses. I know how it feels. I've got everything totally under control. But what I'm about to show you is that even if we think we have everything under control, sometimes maybe we don't. Because when I took this 100 milligram microdose, a very short time later, I started just feeling some anxiety. There's nothing for me to be anxious about. I was having a super time on the trip. We were about to go into a restaurant. We came from a hot spring. I mean, everything was really, really good. I was very positive. As a matter of fact, my friend and mentor, Trip Maxwell, taught me a kind of a morning routine, a morning ritual, something to do every single morning. It doesn't take much time at all, but I've been doing that for close to a month now, and my positivity index is through the roof. It's been great. Now, this is a topic I want to go into on another show we do. In fact, I'm going to bring Trip back, and I want him to explain this morning ritual, morning system, whatever you might want to call it, because he can do it a lot more justice than I can. He can really talk about some of the science behind it as well. But suffice to say, I've been doing this for just about a month now, and it really is a game changer, especially in conjunction with microdosing or dosing psilocybin mushrooms. Okay, so I started feeling anxious, and by anxious, I mean I could feel my heart beating, and that's extremely uncommon for me. I just don't really feel that. But I feel, kind of thump, thump, thump. So I'm thinking, it wasn't bad, but it just was out of the ordinary. It just didn't feel great. And I didn't know what to do. Of course, again, there's nothing I could have done differently because psychologically and as far as how the day was going, I was feeling really good. So it's not a matter of saying, well, get more positive, get rid of negative thoughts. No, none of those were there. It was a great day. But somehow the microdose that day affected me in a way that it normally does not. So what I did was, after we got back to the van, because we were at a little restaurant in this town, after I got back to the van, I took a very small amount of edible cannabis, and I can't remember how much that was. Probably 5 milligrams. So it's pretty small. It's maybe even considered like a large microdose, if there's such a thing, a large microdose. But I took that. I ate some about 5 milligrams of edible, edible cannabis. And a very short time after that, everything was good. The anxiety went away. So, my point here is not to scare you. My point is that I'm always transparent. I've told you so many times how microdosing magic mushrooms has changed my life entirely over the past year and a half. I mean, I've done a 180. I feel really, really, really good with like no anxiety, except for that microdose the other day. No anxiety, no depression, no nothing. It's just, I feel really, really good. But what I want to share with you, and a lot of you have even commented and said, look, they really appreciate me because I'm very honest and transparent and open with my life, and I'm not sugarcoating everything. If something is not exactly right, if something doesn't feel right, if something's going wrong, I will share it with you. I'm not going to tell you that every single day everything is just absolutely perfect, because that would be like a lie. I'm a human being just like anybody else is, so come on. So yeah, and then so I felt better. It was getting close to bedtime, so I just kind of laid down, listened to some music, and fell asleep, and I was totally fine. But it's a little bit weird, because if this had been you or somebody else, and it was, let's say, you weren't as experienced at it, or it was the beginning of your day and your heart is thumping a little bit, maybe you wouldn't really know what to do. So again, that's what I did. People have also said if you take a little bit of a benzo, which I don't really take benzos, and I don't think they're safe, but in small amounts, every once in a while, it's not going to harm you. But you don't want to get into the habit of taking benzos all the time. But if you had a benzo lying around, you could probably take a 2.5 or 5 milligram of Valium, and that would probably help it as well. Again, this is not medical advice. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm telling you, like, probably what I would have done and what I did do, because I was, again, very open and honest about that. I took a little edible, and it was great after that. But again, my point is, this plant medicine, as great as it is not always 100% predictable. It depends on your mind, your mindset, again, where you are. There's so many variables, like what happened to you that day, the day before. There's just a lot going on, and it's not, nothing is 100% predictable. So I want to share that with you. That's all I have for you for today. Again, thank you so much for being with me. I've been away for a bit. I have not been putting out nearly as many videos as I normally do, and I've been a bad boy because I have not been responding to so many. So I take full responsibility. I apologize, but the content is all still here, and it's still good, and I'm with you. I'm not going anywhere. Trust me on that one, okay? I'm Dr. Dave, and this is Microdose You. Thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate you.